Welcome to Jack's Tech Corner Live Edition. This is Photoshop Elements Weekly number 5. In this edition, we're going to be talking about the Magic Extractor, creating custom wallpapers for your computer, and in motion using a blurring technique. So let's go ahead and get started right here, right now, with Photoshop Elements Weekly. Okay, I'd like to join everybody here for Photoshop Elements Weekly. I'm glad you can stop by. Remember, the number is right here at the bottom of the screen. You guys have seen it before. 724-701-0911. Also, just for your personal information, I am not simulcasting on Ustream today. I wanted to see if it would be any better if I took all of the bandwidth that I have, which isn't much uploading bandwidth, and streamed everything I had, or everything I can push, out to Justin TV. I don't want you guys to be buffering or whatever. Also, I'm trying to get along with some new earbuds here. These are interesting earbuds, you know, over the ear. I dropped a big bulky headphones. I just thought, that's not cutting it anymore. And it's too much, just too much look there. So I thought this would be a lot more professional not to have those earbuds, but then I can still hear you as you call in to the show there by using the phone number 724-701-0911. You can gladly, love to accept your phone calls there, so call into the show. Or you can Skype me if you want to save on long distance charges. By all means, Skype me at Jack's Tech Corner. That's my Skype handle, or whatever you want to call that personal name thing at the bottom there. So let's go ahead, and we are going to get started this week. And as I told you at the beginning of the opener there, the Magic Extractor, creating custom wallpapers, which I thought, you know, you'd probably like that. You're going to enjoy that. Our desktops on our computers start to look a little plain after a while, so we want to spruce them up a little bit. And then doing some in motion with some radial blurs, or with a blur, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and we will get started right off the bat here with learning how the proper way to use the Magic Extractor. Now, let's face it, guys, there's a lot of ways, guys and girls. There could be some ladies out here, I'm sorry. But there is a lot of ways that we can extract pictures or extract parts of pictures from any photo. And we know that. We've used, most times I go up here and everybody knows my favorite tool is the, get on here a minute. Is the quick selection tool. You know that's my favorite tool, and I use that a lot. But I do get a lot of phone calls that say, Jack, why don't you use some of the other tools like the Magic Lasso tool? I've never gotten comfortable with the Magic Lasso tool, so I haven't really used it that much. But a lot of people have, and if you right click on this, you have the regular lasso tool. That's another selection method. The polygon or polygonal lasso tool, again, another way of making selections that I'm not really used to, and I don't really use those, so I don't really like them. Like I said, my all-time favorite is the quick selection, but some people like the selection brush tool, you know, where you're actually painting over your picture and selecting that way. And that is exactly what's going to be taking us into this particular tutorial about using the Magic Extractor, right? Now, the Magic Extractor is very easy to use, and it works very well. I don't teach it a lot because I like to do more selective extracting, but I thought with this picture with a group of people, it's going to be easier for me to use the Magic Extractor than it would be to use a selection tool. So if I go up under Image on your pull down menus, you'll go right down to Magic Extractor. And here's something else, folks. I got some emails this past week from people that's viewed this show probably on YouTube, or maybe they've come to Justin TV and viewed the recorded highlighted show. If you can't see the details of what I'm doing, the best thing you can do is look on that player, and you're going to see on that player where you can make it full screen. When you make it full screen, this thing looks really, really good. You can see all the detail, and you can see everything I'm working on, everything I'm doing. I know it's hard when it's in that little window on your computer, you know, on the web page. So click on full screen, and you'll be able to see all this great detail. Okay. So here we have our Magic Extractor, and this is very simple to use. You can follow along up here. Click one or more times on the object you want to select using the foreground brush. Click and use your background brush to choose the regions not to exclude, right? Not to select, right? Press preview to view the selection. There you go. You want to press preview to view the selection. Use the selection eraser and selection brush tools to fine tune the selection. All right, so there's good ways you can do things there. You can fine tune them. I'm going to try to stick the picture-in-picture there. I know a lot of people, you either like that or hate that. I just like to feel that I'm talking to you. If I move my hands or make a gesture, I want to believe that you're seeing that. And just sitting here looking at a picture, you're hearing my voice, and you're like, wow, wonder what he's doing. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So I do have the picture-in-picture, and I think that looks pretty nice there. Anyway. And if not, hey, drop me a line there in the chat window. Say, Jack, get rid of the PIP. If you say get rid of the PIP, I'll drop it. All right. So now what we're going to do here is the first thing is use the plus over here. And that's our foreground brush tool. Again, I do like using the Wacom board for this. Today I currently have my mouse hooked up because we have so many other video tutorials that we're working with. We have our foreground color by default is red, and our background color by default is blue. You can change that any way you want. You can also change your brush size right here, right? Or now, what's an easier way to change your brush size? Everybody here understands and knows the way I like to do it, right? I use the right and the left bracket keys. The right makes it bigger, the left makes it smaller. Keyboard shortcuts, if you start learning keyboard shortcuts in Photoshop Elements, your life is going to be so much better. You're going to be so happy that you actually know how to use the keyboard shortcuts. So let's go ahead. First of all, we're going to start selecting what do we want to keep the selection wise. And the foreground color, remember, is red. Now what's nice about this selection tool, I've watched people use this in the classes I teach, and they try to paint every little inch of what they want to keep. They got everything on there, every little inch. You don't have to. Give Elements a pretty good idea of what you want. You know, I usually do something like that. We'll get the girl here. A lot of times, you guys know already, a lot of times, hair is very, very hard to make a selection with hair. I've been learning some techniques. I'll have to share those with you at some point. But it's very hard, irregardless, to select hair. It's just very difficult to do that. Alright, so we're going to come down here and across. And you got to watch down here. You see the girl's bottom of her pants right there, and come back up. Come up on her shirt, and then down. Crossed a couple of times. And we're just kind of highlighting over this. Because you're going to preview this, so we're going to have a way of looking at it before we actually go on and do much more anyway. Now we got to tell Photoshop Elements, what is the background? So click on the minus up here. It says background brush tool. Click to indicate areas to exclude. Exclude means we don't want, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Let's exclude this. Come down, go back over, come over, and you see I just got some of that girl's hair right there. But you know, we're living large, right? Is that what they say? Living large. So we'll take that out. Take this out. Come down in here. You know, and I just kind of go around the folks here the best I can. Here we go, like that. Go up, go over, and back. Now, lower your brush size down a little bit because you have to make sure, like I said, we have to make sure that we get into these places. So let's get in here the best we can. All right, you might be able to make it a little bit smaller to get up in here. Just a little bit. Down here, look, he has a red shirt on. I got some of the shirt sticking outside that. But it should be okay because we're going to get the blue in here as close as we can. We'll lower this, or we'll raise the brush size up a little bit. And I'll make a streak up in there. Okay, just like so. Now, here's what we're going to do now. Now what we're going to do is come up to the top here, and you'll see a preview button. Click on that preview button, and we're going to preview what kind of selection we just made. Now, it's not too bad there. The preview is not bad. It looks pretty good. We can probably clean it up a little bit, and I think that's what we're going to do. We are going to clean it up a little bit. Now, preview, you can display selection area. That's what we did. Everything is selected. Or the original photo. Here's the photo with everything in it still. We want to do it this way so we can see what we missed. Now what you want to do is work with these two erasers here. This is a point eraser tool used to erase selection. Here's an add to selection tool. You can use this to add information back in case you went over something you didn't want to go over. And remove from selection. Use this to remove extra parts from your selection. A smoothing brush is the same as if you've ever heard of feathering. It's kind of a way to smooth out the rough edges. Then we have the zoom tool and then the hand or the move tool, right? Let's click on this eraser because we want to take out some of this right here. We want to clean that up. Just like so. Clean that up a little bit. Like that. Again, just a little bit around her hair, but you got to be careful, right? You don't want to get too close. We can see some stuff going on up here. Again, I'm using the mouse this time, not the Wacom board, right? Not the Wacom. Wacom. You say Wacom, I say Wacom. I don't know. All right, down around his ear, clean that up just a little bit. And that looks pretty good. I did notice somewhere here, her hat. So maybe I want to go back here. And that. We'll do this here. We just want to touch this up around her hat. Let's just put more of her hat back, right? We don't want it to look too silly. Clean it up just a little bit. Just like so. Okay. Once you believe you have everything set up the way you want it set up on this picture, all we got to do then is very simply click the OK button. And all of our selections are going to take care of themselves. That background at that point will be a transparency. And there you go. It looks pretty good. And what I mean by pretty good, you could always fix this up, right? There's things we can do. Like I see right up here by her hair on this line here. You know, if I use my eraser tool here, lower my brush size down, and then zoom in. Don't be afraid to zoom in some places if you have to. I had the zoom tool backwards here. I'm sorry. And if you lose it, go back to view, fit the screen, right? And we're going to just look right here. Then grab your eraser tool. Then you can kind of come up here and erase it a little better. So even once you get out of the Magic Extractor tool, we can still clean the picture up if we want. We can just come in here and work. But don't be afraid to zoom your picture up, guys. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to be able to zoom these pictures up so you can work on them. Let's see what's up in here. Something like that, right? We can move this left to right. Look around here, see what else is there. So you always have the option, guys, of cleaning up your selections. Sometimes, depending on how many megapixels you're shooting, sometimes you're not going to even notice if it's a little piece or something going on. I try to do the best I can when I clean these pictures up. Especially, guys, if I'm working on wedding pictures and there's something I want to extract. So a lot of times the gown with the dress and what have you. I definitely like to take that out. Okay, so I'll go back up to View, fit the screen. And then I cleaned that selection up a lot. Everybody looks pretty doggone good. Getting a lot of weird audio there. Don't really know where that's coming from. Okay, so hopefully that sounds all right. That sounds better. It sounded like there was too much static going through the microphone here through these earbuds. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but it was weird. Okay, now that we have this cleaned up, I still have one place right here, right? Just try to knock it off there. All right. So now we have this cleaned up. This is when you would actually go and you can change the background, do what you wanted to with it, right? So let's add a layer. Pull that layer below this layer, because if it's the background, here, let me pull above that layer because I want to make sure everybody understands layers. Let me grab a color, whatever color. And let's see here. It's actually making it that. Okay. So if we load up that background, you can see that you can't see your people, right? Because of layers. Remember layers? I always taught you people, all the folks out there, I always taught you that layers are just that. It's just like this. Here's the bottom sheet of paper. Here's the top sheet of paper. We're going to lay it on top. We're layering. Now, if you remember when you were younger, probably, you used tracing paper, right? We laid it on top of a picture, just like that, and then we traced over it. So we layered that. So very young age, you were learning about layering. And now, Elements and Photoshop, even the full Photoshop, many other products too are talking now in terms of layers, because we understand what a layer is. So grab layer 0 and pull it up and put it on top of layer 1. Right? So we reverse them. And being there's this right here, look. There's this transparency here. So anything behind or underneath will show right through the transparency and take over. And that's how we did that. And that's how you get this kind of effect right here. And you can see there is some places we could have made some cleaner cuts, like right in here. You know, so if you have your eraser tool and you go in here now, you can actually even clean it up more without making the kid look like Spock from, you remember, from Star Trek. You don't want to look like that, but so you can clean up even more right here, because now you have that bottom layer. You have something to look at under it. Sometimes it's hard when you have that transparency. You can't really see your mistakes as easy, right? You just can't see those. They just don't come out as easy. So anything else you see in the picture you might want to take out. There you go. Here's a trick I taught a while back. A lot of people seem to like this. And I know if I'm doing any photo shoots, I like to do this. But create another layer. Again, pull it down, right? Create another layer. And so we have multiple layers here, right? We're going to turn this layer off. And on this layer, we're going to do something like this. We're going to grab a gradient. Okay. And we'll just come across. I don't really care what it looks like. So there, now you have a different background. What makes this nice about, set your backgrounds up before you're going to do a photo shoot. Especially if you guys are doing any green screening photography work. You want to do this. We talked about green screening last week and self-portraits. But you also want to do this if you take a picture and you're extracting somebody and you say, hey, let me show you different ways we can use different backgrounds. Shut this one off. And we can take this one now and maybe want to make it, oh, I don't know, like a purple color. It's kind of weird, I guess. We'll just fill that with purple now. Just like so. Now you got different backgrounds. You can tell the client, okay, this is what I have to offer you. I got this one. I got this blue. I got that one to offer you. This one to offer you. Now you're going to make more money from your pictures as you go to sell these, just for the simple fact that you have different backgrounds. Makes it really, really nice. Okay. Okay, folks, so that is how you use the Magic Extractor tool. It's very easy to use. It's a great tool. If you would like to call in or ask any questions about the Magic Extractor tool or extractions in general, now would be a great time to do that. 724-701-0911. Or you can use the Skype and use Jack's Tech Corner. Love to hear from you. And at that juncture, we will go ahead and start talking about custom wallpapers. Now, custom wallpapers, I like to customize my desktop. And, you know, you should too, because how many people, and I know I can't see you raising your hands or yelling out, but how many people out there have pictures in their office? You know, I go into a lot of people's offices and they have little frame pictures all over the place with their kids and their wives or their husbands, and that's great. But why not just see them on your computer all day? Okay, maybe it's too much. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's not. But maybe you want to see them on your computer all day long. So what you do is create a custom wallpaper using Photoshop elements and not being afraid to create a brand new file. It's called a Photoshop file. You want to be able to create a custom wallpaper. Now, first thing we need to know is what is the size of the desktop you're trying to cover. Okay, here's the trick of the sizing of the desktop. Get back to the computer here. We need to, if you're on a Mac, and don't worry, I'm going to talk to you about the PC in a minute. If you're on a Mac, you go into System Preferences. You open up Display, and it's going to tell you right here what your current display is. This says 2560 by 1440. I suggest you write that down. Believe me, I forget it all the time. If I don't write it down, I forget it. And I have it written down already on a piece of paper in front of me, so I know I'm ready to go. It's right here, believe it or not. It's right there. It's written down. So now when I go to create my custom wallpaper, all I have to do is look down at my desk and I'll be like, okay, I'll be able to create that. Now, on a PC, on your PC, on Windows XP 2000, what was the next one? XP 2000, 2003, and now 2007. Even on your servers, guys, if you're doing this on a server, which I can't imagine you would be. Right click on your desktop and go down the bottom to where it says Settings. Or I'm sorry, right click and go to Properties. Now once you're into Properties, click on that last tab on the back. It's called Settings. Click on Settings. There you go. Now on settings, all you have to do is write that number down. You'll see where it says screen resolution, whatever that number is. That's the number we're going to need. Okay, so now we are ready to create our custom wallpaper. Hopefully this is interesting to you, and you'll be following right along here with creating this custom wallpaper. So the first thing we need to do is in our elements, we have elements open here. We're actually done with this picture, so I'm just going to close this. I've just been learning here, doing these live shows. It's a good idea to have all my pictures I'm going to use for the day open and ready to go. So what we're going to do here now is we are going to go under File, New, and Blank File. Now with this blank file open, what the heck? I don't know what I just hit there. All right, it's working good. Oh, now it's working. Took all that time. Sorry, talking about my synergy, and I think we talked about that a while back. Okay, so and a lot of people don't understand this either. If you can see that, that's blue. As soon as it's blue like that, you can start typing. People go to highlight and delete it. No, you don't. You don't got to delete that. Just giving you an extra saving step there, folks. So give it a name here. We're going to call this desktop. Background. That's good. You can call it really whatever you want. It's just a file name, basically, is what that is. Now, presets says clipboard. Don't really care about that. I'll leave it to default. Here is where I got to set my height and my width. Width, height, resolution. Now, that screen measurement they give you is in pixels. How do I know that? Doing this for 25 years, I figured it out. It's in pixels. You can also look it up on Google, say, what is my screen resolution set in or displayed in, and they will tell you pixels. So we're going to change this because we need the file, that new blank file, we need it to be as big as the desktop, right? You want it to be as large. We don't want to stretch it because then you start pixelating. It looks like crap. Okay, you don't want to do that. So mine was 2560. I'm looking at the paper down here that I wrote this on. And the height of this is 1440. The resolution, we're going to leave that set pixels per inch. You can leave it set to whatever, that's the default, 72. You can make it bigger. The bigger you make it, the bigger the file size, folks. This is already 10.5 megabytes. So it's huge. It's not something you're going to want to share. It's not something you're going to want to pass around there at all or email to anybody. So it's pretty big. I would suggest if you're going to create this and take it to work for your work computer, whatever, and you have your sizes down, put it on a thumb drive and take that out, and I think you'll be all right. Click OK. Now, since I always like to work from left to right, I'm going to take this background picture and drag it over here, right? I want to take this and drag it, and it's not letting me drag it at all because I probably have these locked anyway. Nah, it's not letting me drag it over. All right. So we're going to start with it in the back here. Normally I like it over here. It's where I originally had it when I created it this morning, but that's okay. It's here now. So this is our new file. And that is not the exact size, folks. If you go to View, you can tell it actual pixels. You're not going to be able to work on it too well. It's going to be a mess. Go to back to View, fit the screen. Now it's fitting edge to edge, and you can actually work on it. You can actually lower that down even more down here. We can lower that down to whatever size we want. Oop. Undo that. Okay. We're going to zoom out, I think. Yes. I just like it this way so I can see all my corners. That's what I want to be able to do here. Is see the corners and how they're set up. Okay. Now, basically, all this is going to be is building a collage. A lot of people email me every week talking about collages. How do you build them? How do you lay them out? And this is all this is, folks. This is a collage. So let's go ahead and do that. The first picture I'm going to use is this one. And all you do is go to select all. And you can use shortcuts for this. So if you look at this, when you click these pull down menus, select all. This is a Mac, so it's telling me Command A. Now on your PC, it's going to tell you Control A. So to make this easier, I'm telling you, learn your shortcuts. Now we'll do a Command C. That means copy. Let's go back to background, and we're going to do a Command V. And we're going to paste that just like this. Now it's pasted. Now if we click our move tool, we can move this picture around on that blank file. And as you see, it's going to be in its own layer over here on the right. You can do anything you want to with these. Grab them by the corners if you want to resize them, because I tell you that because if you grab it here, you start to make little munchkin short people squeezed up, right? Or as I like to refer to them as small little short Oompa Loompas, okay? I don't know if you watch Willy Wonka or not. Just click that. Always grab by a corner, I don't care what corner, and you pull into the other corner. That keeps it in perspective. Grab from a corner to the other corner, I don't care what corner. But if you tell him you learned this from Jack at Jack's Tech Corner, great, happy, pleasure to be doing service or business with you folks. If you do this and tell somebody, oh, looky, I learned this from Jack's Tech Corner. No, you didn't, okay? Don't do that. All right, again, let me block this off. Now, so you're going to want different size pictures. We don't want this. You don't want to do this. Not very pleasing to the eye. Okay, that, another picture, kind of ridiculous, especially for your desktop. Pull it down. Grab this thing. We can spin them. I suggest not to put your people on top of their head, unless you want to. You can put it on the edge, so you can do something like this. You know, we can even size it if you want to get more of the picture in there. Again, make sure when you're sizing, you're working with the corners, and you're pulling in to keep the perspective of the picture. Okay, when you get it where you want it, just click on the little checkbox or hit your enter key. Both work the same way. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, the next thing, and as you see here, I have all the pictures open that I want to use for my desktop wallpaper. Here's another one. Again, now this time use all commands, right? Command A or Control A will select the whole thing. Control C will copy it. I click on my desktop file and do a Control V and I paste it. How easy is that? Huh? Pretty simple. So I can now move this wherever I want it. Now maybe you want that one squared up like that, because every picture should not be tilted, slanted, flipped, whatever. It shouldn't be. So there you go. You want that one a little slanted. We really don't know these people. That we was on a vacation, so we don't know those people. I wanted a picture of this trolley bus. I thought that was cool. So I want to do that. Now my next picture, again, I'm going to use this one. So I do a Command A or Control A, select it. Command C, I copy it. Then I go here and I'll do a Command V and I'll paste it. Oh, look what happened. It's underneath of the last picture we put it in. Why? Why are we having all these issues? Why are we having this trouble? Huh. You have to remember earlier I told you when we first started this segment and the last video, you have to understand the layers. Remember layers. Whatever is below is, or whatever is above the bottom one is covering it up. Okay. And if it's a solid, right, with no transparencies, you're not going to see anything. So here's what we need to do. Let's go here. Pull it there. Okay, we can see it. Now let's pull it above the bus. Above the bus. Leave it go. There we go. Now you can see it's above the bus. Yeah, still not the greatest place in the world, but now we can work with it, right? Let's turn this one kind of sideways. Let's shrink it down just a little bit. Make it more interesting. Pull it off to the corner. There we go. Just like this. And let that go. Now there's a couple things I want to tell you here. One is this. You do not, right? You really do not want to, you got these overlapping here. This one's okay because we said we just want to see the trolley. This has part of the trolley. It's showing one, but we want the girls, right? So we don't want to change these layers around. I'm going to change those and show you this because now we lost part of this fish that this girl's on. We still have the girls basically, right? Well, not the other little one over there. Here, let's do this. Move this back up. And now we got her again. So now we need to think about how can we fix that? What tools do we have in Photoshop Elements that will allow us to straighten this out and fix this? Huh. Well, we have an eraser tool. Let's try that. Let's grab the eraser and see if we can't erase this. Oh, wait. It's revealing something's under it. Why? Because it's making this, it's erasing the picture, and it's making it a transparency we talked about before. It's making that part transparent so then we can see what's under it. Even though the layers are on top, when you take that and make it a transparency, we're going to open it up, right? Make it a transparency, you can see what's underneath of it. That's what's critical here. That's what's important. So, it's set up that way, and we're going to make the brush size a little bigger. Now we can just simply go here. We're going to clean this up a little bit, right? Just like this. And a lot of people ask me, a lot of people have been talking to me about collages. And Jack, how does a collage work? Well, same thing, guys, girls, same thing. A collage, right? Here you go, just like that. You're building pictures, you're doing things with them. Think of this as, honest to goodness, the digital scrapbook age, right? For a long time, many centuries, people have been doing scrapbooks, you know, where we take pictures. We did them as a kid. Take a picture and you glue them in a book, all right? So you glue these things in a book, and, you know, you have those for years to come. Well, today we can do it in a digital world, right? We can do a digital scrapbooking and be able to play around with digital files. Okay. Get these things set in my ears just right. And we do. Maybe we have a phone call coming in. Looks like it. Oh, nope. One of my old friends there just came online. That's where it came from. Hey, Ted, how you doing? Got a quick chat there from Ted, an old friend of mine. It's been around for a long time, probably ever since I started doing these shows. Ted, if you want, call into the show. Love to hear from you. Good, okay. Ad lib. Too much ad lib. What are you talking about, Ted? You guys know that I talk too much, I guess. Even my wife tells me that. Okay, so on with the show. We are creating this desktop wallpaper. That's what we're working on. We create our custom file. At this point, we're just adding pictures. So let's go ahead to another picture here. And again, I'm going to do my Command A to select all. Command C. Now write these down and remember these. Pretty important. And then we will do a Command V, and we're going to paste it right here. We can move this around again. We're going to move it wherever we want. And again, you're going to see here, if I can fit her in right, I think what I'll do, instead of erasing this, I'll just change my layer order. We can get this up here. Just like that. Put this one above that one, I think. Let's see. Well, that didn't work out for me. No, the bus has to be above this one. So let's pull this down here. Oops. just like this. Okay, so there now we got the corner of the bus here, right here. You can see the grill on the fish. That's important. You got the corner up here. You got this one over here. The only thing we have left to do is just to fill in this bottom part here. And you can play around with that and basically put whatever you want in there. It's totally up to you at that point and what you want to put in there and play around with. Or you can reorganize these pictures a little bit and you can make them a little bigger, move them around a little bit more, and get that squared away. Once we have all that done, we need to save this as a JPEG. So let's save it out. File. Save as. It says background or desktop background. That's fine. We can live with that. I think I'll put it in my pictures folder though. And I'm going to make a folder called desktops. Okay. You would do the same thing on a PC, folks. Under pictures or my pictures, create a folder called desktops. Change it from Photoshop to JPEG. That's pretty important. Click on save. And I would make it a little bigger than that. If we go large size, it's 2.2 megs now total. That's okay because we want it to look nice on your screen. And that will save that out. You know, and when you're doing these live shows, you just hope that nothing crashes like Adobe, you know, like the Photoshop elements don't crash. I mean, we've seen that happen once in a while. Okay. Now we want to set that in as our desktop wallpaper and see how that looks. So I'm going to drop some of these windows. Actually clear that out. Get rid of that. Clear that. Drop this. And we can actually take this stuff. Eject that. Alright. We can actually take this stuff here and I'm going to show you the IMAX desktop. There is the IMAX desktop, right? And change desktop background. I can just right click on it and we can change the desktop background. And we're going to change it to here. Could go into the pictures folder, but remember now that's your folder, so you're going to have to add, I think. And we're going to just grab it out of this pictures folder we created, desktops. Here it is right here. We're going to choose it. And now you can see it. There you go. The little black I see there actually on the on your screen there that you're seeing is just the way that the video is actually cutting the sides off. But on my desktop, it's corner to corner, edge to edge. It's very nice. It looks very good. You can see the whole picture there in the middle, so it looks extremely very, very well. So there you have that. It's a lot of fun to create your own desktops. Let me go back to my... Okay, let's lock this back in. There we go. Okay, so there we have this. Now, what I wanted to do now, and hopefully you folks that are hanging in there with me, we did actually... or we're working with quite a lot of sponsors, trying to find some people out there to sponsor the show and to help out. So we did pick up a new sponsor this past week to help the show, and they're not paying me hundreds of millions of dollars a year, but they're just going to sponsor the show, and it's basically based on you watching the show, what your purchasing power is to them. It's kind of like a referral system is how it all works. Most people call it an affiliate system. So if you ever hear the word affiliate, you'll hear that whatever you're buying is helping the show out. So I'm going to take a very, I believe it's a 1 minute, it's like a 1 minute or maybe 59, 58 second commercial break. I'm sorry to do this, but I just wanted to throw this out there just to get this in the video, and then we'll come right back with another tutorial. Green Screen Wizard for all your green screening needs. From standalone software to plugins to the green screens themselves. Ken is the man you want to go to. Longtime photographer and programmer, Ken has pulled both of his talents together to create the easiest green screen processes. And one hosting services. Do you need a personal website, or do you have a business looking for a company with dependability and support, yet at a reasonable cost, not to break the bank? One does it all. Websites, domain names, email services, and even remote servers. To order any of these products, go to my website, jackstechcorner.com, and click on the graphics on the left side of the page. Now, back to learning. Okay, so hopefully that wasn't too painful for you. I told you it was less than 1 minute. When I was actually doing the voiceovers for that one, I thought, well, I got to make this as close to a minute as I can. Hopefully the audio sounded okay there. Hold on 1 second there. We do have a call coming in. Hello, good morning, Ted. Hello, Ted, can you hear me? Ted. Hello, Ted. Hello, Ted, can you hear me? I'm just making sure my volume is set properly here for Ted. Yep, it is. Ted, can you hear me? Ted, we're not hearing anything from your audio. Okay, Ted, I'm not getting anything from you at all, my friend. If you want to try to call back in, see if we can get you picked up there. Or maybe your microphone's turned down? Okay. So actually, we dropped the call there. Okay. So we'll just leave that window open. Okay, Ted, I'm sorry, my friend. I did not get any audio from you there, so I didn't pick you up at all. So if you want to call back in, I don't know if your microphone's working, check your sound settings there and give us a buzz back. I'd like to hear from you. I know we talked before on Skype a while back for quite a long time there. So there you have it. We're going to get on to this last demonstration I have for this actual segment. And hopefully everything's recording okay here. And we are going into this one. Now what we wanted to talk about, as I said in the opener, is in motion. Before I get started though, if anybody else wants to call into the show, by all means do so. You could even call directly in. Ted, you could do that too now if you want to pick up your cell phone. You got free long distance on that, baby. Call me at 724-701-0911. You don't need to use your computer and Skype anymore. You can call me that way and actually call in. That's the way most people have been doing it lately. So you can do that. Or you can, by all means, Skype to Jack's Tech Corner, just like you did. Okay, so we're going to get started now on what I like to refer to as in motion, or getting this stuff where it's in motion, where it looks like the people are moving. Here's a picture, and a lot of times, you know, I do a lot of photography. And a lot of times on photography work, though, let me flip back over here. A lot of times on photography work, it really, I guess, saddens me because we're all growing older. We have to realize that. And we're all growing older at a rapid pace, right? Now, year by year, rapid enough. But where it's really, really rapid is when you look at your kids. You look at your kids and how cute and adorable they were at one time. Now they're growing up. Now they're teenagers. Still cute and adorable. They're good kids. Even, you know, I take my son. He's 25 years old now. Still, you know, I look at him and I can still see that, you know, that little 8-year-old boy there. Have to go back there to when he was young. Hold on 1 second there. I just want to see if I can do this. My old friend Ted there has lost his microphone somehow, and that's weird because he's very good on Skype. Ted, you're good on Skype. You're typing. Okay. All right. I can't. I don't want to do this to my other viewers viewing this show here because you can't see Ted's screen. Actually, I bet you I can bring it up for you. Do you want to see it? Ted, don't type anything offensive. Here you go. You can actually see what Ted is typing now. Ted, do you have a question? I can get you up also on the actually on the stream. Any questions? Or okay, Ted. You know, you can always be a co-host to the shows, Ted, and I can probably send you a microphone out that way. Get you on every week with me. I know we get you up early enough in the morning. Okay, well, I am going to take Ted back off the screen here. Like I say, Ted's an old friend of mine. He's been around my shows as long as I've been doing them, so it's wonderful to see him come up here. Let's go ahead and get this in motion done, and we will be wrapping the show for this Sunday. So I said, I know the viewers are pretty much in that hour time slot because your wives or your husband's saying, hey, you know, cook me breakfast, or hey, get out and mow the grass, honey. We're going to talk about in-motion blur here. First thing we got to do is select what you want to stay in the foreground, so non-blurred. We talked about this before. This is a way also of doing some types of soft focusing. Okay. The soft focus is where you take your camera and you can zoom in on somebody, or I've learned recently you can use your aperture. By setting your aperture, you can blur out what's in behind them, right? You can set your field of focus so you can blur out what's behind these people. But we're going to do it in Photoshop Elements because it's fun. First thing I'm going to do is grab my favorite tool. Everybody knows what it is. Quick selection tool. Very good. Click on the plus. And we're going to start selecting this car. Now, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. It's all right. It's okay to make a mistake. Not a big deal. This is weird right here. It doesn't look like it's selected. Select this fender a little better down here. See, this whole side got selected over here. So, yeah, I made a little mistake. That's all right. So, the other side. So, I hit the minus sign, and I lower my brush size using the left bracket key. And you notice how I say that a lot, left bracket key, right bracket key. It's because I want you to understand the keyboard shortcuts. It makes your life a lot easier. And again, this selection, when you're blurring the background or do something with your backgrounds, it's not as critical as if we're cutting somebody out like we did earlier, how we were taking the extraction tool. It's not as critical. Let's go down here at the bottom. There we go. Just like so. And right here on the side. Oh, see, I did it again. You got to be very careful on the side. You got to at least get the car because you want everything behind it. Okay, we're going to leave it like that. For time's sake, like I said, watch it and be very careful with your selections of what you're selecting. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do the old select inverse. So now instead of the car being actually selected, the car is deselected. What we are going to blur is now selected, which is the background. You can see by a lot of shows I watch on the internet, a lot of people I read, they call that marching ants, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Well, what else would you call it? Then go under filter, go down to your blurs, and we are going to use the radial blur. Now, by default, it comes up as spin. Spin actually makes this look like something that's in a washing machine. It looks like crap. It doesn't make sense to use a spin blur. It makes them almost look like they're coming out of a vortex the wrong way. I don't like it. What I like to do, the blur I like to use, is zoom. Because zoom gives it that looking of speed, that looking of movement. That's why I call this motion blur. Now, with motion blur, it's very easy to do this. You can take this down or up. What I don't like about it is you can't see it happening, right? That is a problem. You can't see it happening here. So we can try 25 and hit OK. See what you get. That's not too bad. You can see there's movement. That car looks like it's moving. It's a very much stationary car. And you could even make it more realistic if we would took this selection and selected it right back here. Right? Because that's open. So behind them, that motion would have went all the way down to that point. And it would look more like they're coming out. We also, I don't know how many people out there caught it. Nobody called in and nobody threw anything in the chat window on Justin TV. But we also didn't duplicate the background. Now, you should have duplicated the background. That's what I'm telling you. You should duplicate the background. We're going to undo this. Here, let's duplicate that background doing a Command J or Control J. But you see now whatever selected is now missing, right? So don't do that. Let's delete that layer. Yes. Now you want to do a Control J or Command J. Then you would have your selection of your car. I'm going to do this again just for time's sake. Stay in there, hang in there with me. We're doing a good job here. I know we're getting a little bit over, and I've mentioned a lot of times on these shows that this show is an hour to an hour and a half. I watched another friend of mine's show here. He goes on Friday nights at midnight, and he finishes up Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock. He more or less DJs all night long on Justin TV, so it's pretty crazy. If you're ever awake, check him out. He's a really nice guy. If you're more interested in him, send me an email and I'll tell you about him. Okay, let's go down here. Here, I just wanted to see if we can get this right this time, make it look more interesting to you. Okay. And back here, we're going to select. We're going to try to select it back here a little bit. It is selected. No, let's deselect this. Without getting the grill. This is going to be really hard here. Let's see how it works out for me. I didn't try this one in the rehearsals. So let's see what happens. Bear with me. I got a mess going on. Now you people can see what I do in all my spare time, sitting trying to figure out these lessons out. You just sit and play, right? All right. Get that girl selected again. Get her half the head selected. She looked kind of funny blurred, right? Yeah, it looks all right. Nope. Subtract that a little bit. Lower my brush size down. Bear with me. Time is of an essence here. Time is of a virtue. Okay. Okay. Like I said, I haven't tried this in rehearsal, so I don't know how it's going to go. Select, invert, filter, blur, radial blur. And again, at 25, that looked pretty good. We'll go with it. Click OK. Now, you see exactly what I thought would happen happened. Now go to select, deselect. The blur now is behind the girl because the back of that automobile is open, right? Just the back window even of an automobile. So you wanted that blurring effect back there too. Now it has a great effect. It looks like they're moving right out at you. And you can make this as tight as you want and do whatever you want to do with that. So there you have it. It's very, very nice. It's a very clean effect. And it looks good. I really think it looks good. Looks like a real motion of a car. I even got some of the lights in here actually kind of blurring out there. So it's kind of neat. So there you have that. Back here. So folks, that's basically it for this week. You know what? Photoshop Elements is just that. Use your imagination. If you can think about it, you'll find a way to do it. And if you do that, by all means, drop me an email at jackstechcorner@gmail.com. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear what you did. I'd love to hear how you did it. And I would also enjoy it if you would share the rights back with me so I can do it and put it out there for other people to see it. That's the way it works around here. We love to share our information. So if you have any questions, I'm still taking calls on Skype. Ted, I don't know if you fixed your microphone. We picked up a few more different viewers on and off here through the show. That was great today. It's always good to have a few more people stopping by and seeing what's going on. I think people are getting curious. I put these on YouTube and they're getting a lot of hits. The live shows are getting a lot of hits. So hopefully it's produced well. I think I have a lot of the kinks worked out of it. I'm just kind of baffling here for a minute. I do think I have a lot of the kinks worked out of the live show. The live show is a lot different than any YouTube video I've ever done, because YouTube is very nice because those videos I record and I edit, so I can do whatever I want to. In a live broadcast such as this one, there's no editing. There's just straightforward broadcasting. And when you're broadcasting... Oh, hold on one second there. Let's grab this call. Hello and good morning. You're live on line with Jack.
Good morning, Jack.
And what is your first name, sir?
This is Ted.
Hey, Ted. How you doing?
Good. How you, buddy?
Hey, I can't complain. You got that microphone system worked out?
No, I can't figure it out yet. I don't know what's going on. I don't feel like doing it right now.
What are you talking on now?
I'm talking on my cell phone.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, very good.
Yeah, I got the old standby.
Well, you know, and that's what I told you, too. That was new since we talked before, that having that phone number opened up where you can call in with your cell phone.
Right. I forgot it. I misplaced the phone number, too, until you put it on the screen, and I remembered it.
Well, that's good, then. That's why I put it up there.
That's right. Glad you did.
So I guess...
Hey, you remember that show you did on the on one of your shows about the fun edits where you used the New York City Times Square marquee stuff?
You mean the one with the Times Square when I put the pictures up on the walls?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
You remember that one?
Yep.
I did that. That looked pretty cool, so I thought, I'm going to try that. I'm going to see if Jack knows what he's talking about. By golly, you did all right, man. I went down and got that picture, put that in there, and I moved all those pictures of my kids that were back in New York last Christmas, just as Christmas passed, put them in there, and sent it out there to the kids in California, and they're going to take it to Costco and get the canvas print, that darn thing, and frame it. But one thing I was going to tell you, which you didn't cover, is you remember where you had those lights coming off those, like on a pole, and you put the picture in behind? What I did to get that, to keep those little outside lights on, so you could see them, I took the opacity down on that one layer. Then I was able to mask that and cut that out of there, delete that little section there to bring those light poles through, and then I turned the opacity back up, so it made it look just like that picture was actually put right behind those light poles. Did that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's pretty cool.
So I wanted to thank you for that. That turned out really good.
Hey, that's great.
I haven't found anything you haven't done that didn't work.
Well, that's good, Ted. Then at least, and you've been watching since about video one. I mean, you've been around a long time watching these shows.
Yeah, I have. I learned more from you watching videos to do this than I probably could have learned in school.
That's great. Hey, if you get a chance,
I'm a hands-on man.
Well, me too. I'm very much what we call a visual learner, I guess. You know, I have to see it.
Exactly right.
Hey,
That's
Ted.
exactly right.
Ted, if you get a chance, email me that picture. I'd like to take a look at it. Are you on Facebook by any chance?
Well, not. Yeah, but not really.
Yeah, me too. I mean, but I have that. I don't know what they call it now, fan page or whatever you call that. You'll find it on there, Jack's Tech Corner, if you remember that or not. But post it up on there.
No, I'm not on that one, Jack.
Yeah,
But I will get you that picture to you.
Yeah, just email it to me if nothing else. Maybe let me know if you care or not. I'll post it up there so everybody can see your work. I think it's great that you're following along. Okay, Ted, but I think I'm going to wrap. Hey, I
just play around with it.
Well, yeah, that's all you got to do is play around. I mean, that's
right.
Experimentation.
At my age, that's all I got left to do.
Hey, at your age, what, 59? I mean, come on.
Oh, bless your heart. I'm almost 70.
Oh, Ted, I tell you what, if you're working on a computer at 70, then bless you. I tell you, that's great.
I'm getting it where I forget a lot of stuff now. But that's the way it goes.
That is. That's the way it works.
I'm glad I got you there because I got all your videos. I go back and look up the videos and oh yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it.
Well, there you go. Okay, Ted.
Thanks, Jack.
Hey, you have a wonderful day.
Have a good day.
You too, and maybe we'll see you next Sunday.
Sounds good.
All right.
God bless.
Bye-bye, sir.
Bye-bye.
Okay, folks. Once again, that was my my old longtime friend. I don't like saying old. I guess that makes us all, that ages us really. But 70 years old, Ted. I never guessed that you were 70 just talking to you on the phone there. But hey, it's great that you're doing it. And I guarantee you one thing at Ted's house, there's no flashing, blinking VCRs under his TV set. A lot of times you go into like my folks, I go into their house, they're 77. You go in and the VCR is still flashing because they have no idea how to set that. So, hey, there you go. So, hey, everybody, like I said, thank you very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If anybody else wants to call into the show, the number is right. Let me see if I can get this pen on it. Look, right there. 724-701-0911. As Ted just did, you can pick up your cell phone. Most cell phones have free long distance. Give that number a call, or you can use your computer and Skype in to Jack's Tech Corner. Also, I wanted to say these videos are starting to do very well on YouTube. I put the full stream. I don't really do much editing. I put the full show up on YouTube, and it's getting a lot of views. That's great. And if you guys are viewing it there, stop back on Sunday to Justin TV, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and join us live. That's where it's at. It's live. I mean, I do my best. I put a lot together today to have a live show for you folks. And like I said, it's coming along. And I get a lot of calls. Says, Jack, you know, when I watch your videos, I can't do it because I can't watch it on one monitor. I mean, I'm fortunate enough here doing these shows and doing a lot of stuff here that I have 2 monitors, a laptop, and another computer. So I can watch videos and work on my computer. Some people don't have that. So now if you have an iPad or a iPhone or an iPod Touch, I think it would look pretty good on those also. I'm also posting these, are lower resolution, it's not real big files, onto iTunes. So if you go back to iTunes, from anybody that knows me from my podcasting days, and look up Jack's Tech Corner, and I found it works better just spelled out all one word in the search bar, you know, in podcast underneath the iTunes store. Subscribe to me there and pull the videos down right there. Put them on your iPod or your iPhone or your what was the other one? The iPad, if you have one of those devices. And you can watch me right there. You can watch the video and work on your computer. That way you can have 2. You don't have to stream it to that device, which sometimes buffers and takes a little bit of time. Just download the vidcast, I guess it's called. The newest, greatest thing in the world, vidcast. So there you have it. There's a lot of ways to view me. Please, if you've seen my sponsor ads there, check out the 2 sponsors. I'm trying not to do a whole lot of advertising in these live streams. I'm just happy you guys come by here, stop by, and share a few moments of my Sunday or your Sunday with each other, and be able to talk about Photoshop Elements. So it's a good time. So I am going to let this stream run for a little bit, because what I've found is if I cut it off as soon as I'm done, it's not done recording over at Justin TV. I think there's a lag in between me and them. I don't know how that works. Even though the video that I'm recording locally here that I put on YouTube will be ready. And I'll edit that later today and put that up on YouTube. And then, like I said, I'll throw it over onto iTunes so you guys can see it on iTunes. So for now, I am checking out, and I'm sure you'll be checking out. But I am going to put a camera shot up here. Like I said, I'm not watching the stream anymore. It was too much of a delay, and it was spazzing me out there how that works. So I'm going to put my other camera shot up, and I am going to, at this point, just play some background music. And the reason I do that is so I can start editing and doing what I want to do here. And so I know when I'm doing my highlights over at Justin TV where to stop it. I stop it right where the music starts. YouTube doesn't like any music. That's why I don't use any music anymore in my videos, because it's too much editing to try to get it out to post it to YouTube. And that's how that works. Hey everybody, thanks for checking in, and I will see you back here next Sunday on Jack's Tech Corner, Photoshop Elements Weekly. Bye for now.